You go on a date with someone you really like. You tell your friends about it. Maybe even your family. You replay the night in your head. You're smiling. You're excited. Then, they stop replying. Your friends ask about them. You act unbothered. But deep inside, you're questioning yourself. Every time your phone makes a sound, you hope it's them. You check social media to see if they posted. That feeling right there? That's not weakness. That's attachment. And most people live there. Days pass. You try to distract yourself. Some days are easier than others. Then one day, they finally text you, or they call. Your heart jumps. But you don't show it. You pause before replying. You keep the message short. You tell yourself, relax. Don't say too much. Just play it cool. So you do what people do when they're trying to look unbothered. You reply slower than you want to. You act a little colder than usual. You pretend you've been busy. You might even post on social media, hoping they'll notice. Not because you don't care, but because you do. Here's the part most people miss. You're not acting this way because you're at peace. You're acting this way because you want them to act a certain way about you. You want them to miss you. You want them to chase. That's control. Not control in a bad or evil way. Control in a human way. You're trying to guide the outcome without saying what you want. And just to be clear, this isn't something to admire, it's something to notice. Because that's where the damage starts. And that's why it's exhausting. Now you're not just waiting on them. You're watching yourself. Watching how you move. That's not detachment. That's pressure. And here's why fake detachment never holds. Fake detachment only works as long as the other person behaves how you want. As long as they show interest. As long as they don't pull away. But the moment they change, when the chasing stops, you feel it. The calm disappears. The anxiety comes back. Because nothing actually changed inside you. You were still attached the whole time. You were just holding it in. Now here's why this matters. Fake detachment can work for a while. Someone can stay stuck under it for months. Sometimes even years. They think they know you, but they don't. And over time, you stop knowing yourself too. Because now, you're not being yourself. You're thinking about what to say, how long to wait, how you might come across. Because part of you is scared that if you're just real, saying what you want, showing how you feel, they might pull away. So you start holding things together with effort instead of ease. You think about what to say. You hold things back. You try not to do the wrong thing. And when it takes that much just to keep someone close, it doesn't feel good anymore. The moment it slips, you feel the tension. Not because you loved them, but because you were trying to keep the connection from changing. That's how people get lost. You look back and think, I wasn't really with them. I was trying to keep them. That's how relationships fall apart. Not in one big moment, but in a lot of quiet ones. And sometimes, when that pressure breaks, people don't just feel hurt, they react. That's why fake detachment isn't power. Any power that needs control always costs something. Usually you. Real detachment removes the need to control. You don't need someone to act right for you to feel okay. So there's no pressure to hold them in place. No games. No silent battles. No tension underneath the surface. Real detachment doesn't perform. It doesn't time replies. It doesn't send signals. It doesn't hope for reactions. Because there's nothing to manage. When you're actually detached, you respond when it feels natural. Or you don't respond at all. Not to make a point, but because you're steady either way. And this doesn't just show up in dating. It shows up at work, acting unbothered so you seem confident, while stress builds every day. It shows up in family, holding things in to keep the peace, until resentment grows. It shows up with money, trying to look successful while debt, bills, and financial pressure follow you everywhere. Maybe those situations don't explode, but stress still damages you. Sleep suffers, health suffers, judgment suffers, and eventually, identity suffers. Real detachment protects you from that. Because when your peace doesn't depend on controlling how you're seen, who stays, or what you're worth, you don't lose yourself trying to hold something together. That's the difference. Not between caring and not caring, but between pressure and stability. Between control and clarity. You don't have to do anything with this information. Just notice what stayed. The counterweight.